Hi, Lenny.
Hi, Nancy.
Welcome to episode 43 of the Front Porch Book Club.
The Front Porch Book Club is a podcast that meets twice a month.
We like to dig deep into the relationship between characters and the worlds they live in.
Grab your book and iced tea and join us on the Front Porch.
Hey, Lenny, before we get started, I had a realization as I was editing our last episode with Kevin Bauer. Kevin referred to Prentice and Landry and, in fact, all of the people who were enslaved in the South as enslaved people. We tended to refer to them as slaves. And I really liked Kevin's insistence on calling them enslaved people because it recognizes that they are not their economic unit of labor, that they are people who were enslaved. And that really struck me.
Nance, I wish I had known better, I guess. It did not occur to me. I really try to be sensitive, but I know that I have a lot to learn. So yes, when you say that, calling them enslaved people, it does sound more human.
Yeah.
You're actually calling them a person rather than just the slaves.
Yeah.
So I didn't catch his language and our language difference, but I'm glad that we can bring it up and we can talk about it because I want people in my life to do really good and show me a better way of speaking and talking and thinking. So I appreciate that a lot, Nancy. And actually, I wrote that down in front of me because I really want to use his terminology rather than the terminology that I grew up with.
Yeah, I didn't notice it either while we were talking to him, but it was really when I was editing it, I thought, wow, he just only used the term enslaved people rather than slaves. And I think that's really important. And I'm going to try to change my terminology as well around that.
How interesting. Well, thank you for bringing that up, Nancy. I'm going to be pondering this for a while. I think that that's really good. I like the term that he used there.
Me too. On to our book.
Okay.
So, Lenny, today is Sue Ray-Smolik's children's book, The Evening Walk. And I would say the most important thing our listeners should know about Sue is that we were college roommates.
And friends still today. Sue's been one of your gal pals, I call them.
Yep.
From college. And I know you guys are still really close and just so happy you have their relationship in your life. I think that's near and dear. It's December, Christmas shopping. Oh, I was going to bring my jingle bells. Jingle, jingle, jingle. Rudolph's coming and Santa's sleigh. And so this is big season too. So we decided last December we were going to do a children's book. And we knew that Sue was writing a children's book. And we were hoping and hoping that as we put this whole season together, that her book would be written and published and all of that by December so that we could have her book on our book club. And I just saw on Facebook that she got her actual hard copies of her book.
It's great. I think that this book would make the perfect gift for a young child in your life. I think listeners will be interested in hearing about how this book deals with visual impairment and parent-child roles.
Well, this is a really adorable book. Nance, could you tell us a little bit about what this book is about?
There are three main characters. Mommy.
Of course.
Yes. And Mommy doesn't die in the first page of the book, so we know it's not a Disney book.
My gosh.
There's the toddler, Liam, and there's Liam's dog, Tiggy. And the three of them are on an evening walk. What makes this story a little different from other books is that Mommy is visually impaired, and it's Liam that is describing what surrounds them on their walk. He directs Mommy's attention to a flower, an airplane, a butterfly, an ice cream store, and the sunset. And I really love this flip in parent-child roles. Typically, an author would have the parent pointing out these interesting things to their child, but instead it's the little boy, Liam, who does this. And one of the things I love about this is that it reflects that kids are so naturally observant. And when you take a toddler anywhere, they are continually pointing out what's in their environment. They are totally getting waylaid by things in their environment. And in fact, any walk that would take an adult 5 minutes, if you're with a toddler, it will take over an hour. And it's not because their little legs are slower than yours. It's because they are so interested in everything around them. So that really struck me as very authentic. So I love this idea of this very active role for the toddler, orchestrating the experience of their evening walk.
One of the things I thought when Sue was writing this is she was just normalizing the walk. The little boy is saying, like kind of on the top of many of the pages, look, mommy, not realizing that maybe mommy couldn't see it because children are very egocentric. And mommy's response was to interact with Liam in the way she was experiencing her environment. So he would say, mommy, look at this. And then she would touch or smell or hear using her other senses. And maybe her little toddler at 2 didn't really understand what mommy can't see very well meant because she was just going on a walk with her child. I liked the way it was, look, mommy, look, mommy, look, mommy. And at the end, she was saying to her husband, look, honey.
Yeah.
And this is of the boy now, conked out.
Right.
Right out on the bed. He had been totally exhausted by the walk. And of course, the dog Tiggy laying with him. I also liked, and I think it's because I was a mom with a little boy, kind of those sing-songy little things like starting every page with, look, mommy.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something so sweet. And children like that expected little phrase, oh, now we're going to look at this and now we're going to look at that as you turn the page. And I just thought it had a really nice flow and rhythm to it.
It definitely felt very natural in terms of mommy's and Liam's interactions with one another.
Yeah, because when your child calls you mommy, I mean, there's just something so precious about that.
Yes.
It just touched me. It's like, mommy, I don't know, when you hear your own name and it's still mommy.
Yeah.
That's got to get you a little bit in the heart. Maybe it's just because our kids are older. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's just so sweet.
It's a short period of time, or at least it was for me, that I was called mommy. It just captures this very brief window in the life of a child and a mom.
Yeah, it was kindergarten when it was like, I'm not calling you mommy anymore. It was an announcement. Oh, you're not? Nope. Well, what's my name? Mom. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of went away. Oh, and at the same time, and there will be no more kisses. Oh, okay. Not mommy and no more kisses. Gotcha. Okay, so much for that. Let's talk about Tiggy the dog.
Tiggy is also deeply involved in each of these encounters. Mommy's looking, mommy's sensing and experiencing with Liam, and Tiggy is totally there too. He's nibbling the flower. He's dancing around at the sound of the plane. He sneezes when a butterfly lands on his nose. And of course, lucky for Tiggy, the ice cream cone that Liam is eating is melting. And so he gets a little taste of that.
And I say that's mom's victory for being sight impaired, because I would not want a dog germs all over the ice cream cone. So Tiggy's experiencing what Liam is saying too in Tiggy's own way. Everyone has their own little special journey on this walk. Tiggy experiences it different. The little boy experiences it different. And mom experiences it different. The name Tiggy, though, is too cute. I've never heard that as a name for a dog where she came up with that, but it's really cute.
I know where she came up with
What?
it.
Where
No,
did she
no, we're gonna save this for Sue's episode.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
We'll ask her then because the dog is really cute.
We had a cat
Yes.
for part of our growing up years. We never had a dog growing up. Are you becoming a dog person, Linda?
No, and I'm sorry for anyone who takes offense to that. I like little dogs that are like cats, like a poodle. Little tiny dogs will kind of act like cats. They'll come up and they'll plop on your lap and you get to pet them and they don't bark and they don't scratch and they don't scare me. So those kinds of dogs I like. Yeah, I'm not so much a dog person, but I do like a nice cat. I do. But I liked this dog. I thought he was very cute,
He was
but not
adorable.
like in the ice cream cone. I'm sorry. No.
I think he was licking the drips off the
Oh,
ice cream
okay.
cone.
I saw it more as an action page. Germs. The illustrations to this book are so sweet. I think very child friendly, very colorful.
Yeah.
It looks like a book that a little boy or girl would want to be read to them,
Mhm.
especially because the boy goes to bed at night. That's like a perfect little bedtime story.
Yeah.
Okay, now you get in bed and it's your turn to go to sleep.
That's right.
Night time.
It is a lovely ending, and I agree. I think this book could be read over and over again, as you do with children's books, because if a child likes a book, you will pretty much have that book memorized by the time the child is through with it. Early childhood learning experts say it's not just the story that really helps kids' cognitive development, but it's using reading time as a springboard for conversations with the child. And I think this book is a really good book for those kinds of conversations. I can imagine reading this book and asking the child, have you ever felt how silky a flower petal is? Or do you remember the ice cream cone we had last week and how it melted? Or look out the window at the moon. Does it make you want to sing? So it's all of those kind of interactions that are also really important for kids. And I think this book is just full with opportunities for very accessible and interesting conversations with children.
I can see a 2-year-old sitting on your lap doing it and not realizing the cane and not realizing the sunglasses.
Yeah.
But then as a child grows older, maybe around 5, then you can bring in, did you notice the cane? Why does mom have a cane?
Yeah.
It kind of can grow with a little person, I think, to experience different things at different times that goes along with their own personal development.
One of the things I love about mommy using her cane is that it's not ever really mentioned
Mm-mm.
very explicitly, but what a great way for sight impaired parents and their children to see themselves in a book. And this is a book not about disability or sight
Mm-mm.
impairment. It's a book about the love between a parent and a child and exploring the world. Like you said, it's a great way to introduce sighted children and parents to visually impaired individuals. And maybe when the parent and the child would go for a walk and see someone using a cane, it would be a great conversation. Do you remember mommy in the evening walk uses a cane? And now look, here's someone using a cane.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's a beautiful story for just recognizing all of the different kinds of experiences that children might encounter.
Yeah, the other thing I really liked about the mommy is that she didn't need anyone with her. She is totally capable of taking her little one on a walk.
Yeah, completely. So we haven't talked too much specifically about the illustrations. I thought that they were really vibrant, almost jewel tones. What did you think about the illustrations?
I thought it was so well done that it really picked up on her story and what she wanted the reader to see at each page as they were reading it.
Yeah, we'll talk to Sue about this, but she certainly had input into the illustrations, and that input is definitely reflected in the final product.
I don't doubt that one bit. I wonder if she sketched out what she wanted because it really flowed with her words.
Yeah.
So Sue's book is called The Evening Walk. Nancy, what was the most memorable walk you've ever taken?
Well, there was the walk down the aisle when I got
Ah,
married. That was a memorable walk. There was definitely walking around the hospital when I was in labor. That was a very painful walk.
you were walking. I don't understand people who are walking during labor. That was not my experience.
They made me walk. They were like,
Oh,
"Get
no,
up
no, no, no,
and
no.
walk around the hallways."
Oh, no, 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 no. No, that wasn't happening in my room. But okay, I believe you.
I think about some hikes we took as Girl Scouts
Oh,
through the
yes, absolutely.
woods and how memorable,
Come on now. We had to sit upon around our waist.
and our Bunsen burners.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I think of walks that you and I have taken along the beach, and recently I took walks along the beach with Sue and some of my other gal pals when we were down in
Mm.
South Carolina. But one really memorable walk also recently, last summer, my son and I hiked around Joshua Tree,
Ah, yes.
and that was so memorable because it was so outside my typical experience. The landscape is like nothing I had ever experienced before. And I've certainly been in the desert, but those Joshua trees, they are amazing plants and they're just everywhere. I mean, you feel like you're in a different world. And then on top of that, it was so hot. And I
Oh,
have never been in an environment like that that was so hot that I could understand how people die visiting that park if they're not prepared. Like we were very prepared. We had huge jugs of water, we had sunscreen on and hats and everything. But still, I thought, boy, you could not spend much time out here without water and survive. It just felt like such an alien environment. So that's one that really has struck me recently in terms of a very memorable walk. How about you?
I don't know if I ever told you this or not, but Seth and I used to take flashlight walks.
What?
Yeah. We used to get our flashlights out and he would ask for it sometimes. Mom, let's do a flashlight walk. And we
What?
would get flashlights and we would walk around at night after dark. I don't know what I was thinking. We don't even have sidewalks here, but my son asked to do it and that's what we did. And we would walk around outside when it was totally dark.
Did you walk like around the neighborhood or around your backyard
No,
or
the neighborhood.
wow.
Yeah, we would walk around the neighborhood and we would take a flashlight walk. It would be quiet and, not a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it just had a peaceful time for just the two of us to talk and walk around with our flashlights, looking at things and just being together.
I bet you would sometimes point up in the sky to the constellations, and
Oh.
now he's an astrophysicist.
Maybe that is one of the things he liked about dark and outside. I used to take him to different places at night with the telescope.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to tear up. Those were the days. This book, this little thing, I've taken a walk. It's just this beautiful story.
Mhm.
And that's how life happens. It's just being with this little person. Their world is a little small, and it's looking at things along the way and just having this lovely little chat. My son never went to bed like Liam in the story that would just conk and be so tired when he got back. But yeah, really sweet. However, I don't think we ever sang to the moon. We may have looked at the moon. I am sure we looked at the moon and we talked about the moon. Sue, with her voice, maybe she sang to the moon.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
singing was not part of what was happening in this household. I can tell you that.
I don't believe that I've ever sung at the moon either, but I have made up songs and I've sung to trees.
Really?
Does that count?
I believe that counts. In my book, I did not know that you were singing with your son when you were little, or do you just go out in the backyard and sing? And
I definitely made up songs and sung them when he was little. And there were a couple songs. Oh, there was a song I made up and we sung it every night before he went to sleep.
oh,
Yeah.
that's so sweet.
And then there was another song that I would sing when it was nap time. And a lot of times we would be outside and I'd sing it to him on the patio and try to get him to fall asleep.
I sang the cleanup song quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
But I did do some singing, like going to bed. I had a repertoire of goodnight singing songs too. Okay, Nance, what was your favorite part of the book?
I did love this book. I think my favorite part was the last page. The journey has been taken. Liam and Tiggy are dreaming about the journey. Mommy and Daddy have their arms around each other. And it's just so peaceful and loving. And it's a beautiful way to end the book. It feels so relaxing. Like that is the perfect image. It's the perfect idea for a little one then to close their eyes and dream their own dreams.
Yeah. And that's kind of where it takes off, is that he is dreaming about his wonderful walk.
Yeah.
The birds, the sun, the things that he saw. It's just so beautifully done. It doesn't surprise me that Sue was an elementary school teacher, because she knows what kids like about books, what they talk about when they're reading.
Yeah.
The kind of the rhythm of the book. So yeah, it's a beautiful little ending to this.
What was your favorite part of the book?
Well, I really liked Tiggy. I did really like Tiggy. I liked the normative approach to mom's condition. She's a fully functional mom.
Yeah.
The son is not aware that there are any differences between his mom and any other mom.
Nope.
At least how I read it. She's taken her child on a walk. She's not seeing what he's pointing out, but she's experiencing the walk with him. She's also adding, and I didn't say this before, she's adding to his experiences. She's bringing out all of these other senses, so that he is not only seeing, but he's experiencing and using his other senses. And so he's going to grow up with having all of these other kind of experiences rather than just sight.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked that part of it.
Yeah.
So Nance, great book. Can't wait to welcome the author to join us for our next episode.
It should be super fun. When Sue and I are together, we're never at a loss for words.
Okay. I think I know that. Yep. Chatty, chatty, chatty. But that's good. That's what I like.
It should be very fun.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Our website is frontporchbookclub.com.
Our episodes come out twice a month on the first and third Wednesday of each month.
All right. See you next time, Lenny.
Okay. See you next time, Mommy. Oh, dear.